Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We weren't going to have a video for you guys this week, but we couldn't help ourselves. While Reggie, our P38 Range Rover, is waiting on some parts and some further diagnosis, we thought it was time to introduce you guys to our next project. This is a very special one and near and dear to our hearts. Humans of the internet, Lenny. Lenny is a 1963 Land Rover Series 2A with the 2.25-liter petrol engine. He's complete, all numbers matching, and appears to have a fairly storied history. Side note, check out that rear passenger lean. More on that later. The previous owner had originally purchased Lenny to part him out, but ended up not having the heart to do that, so it was just parked for over 20 years on his property. Now, our plan with this little legend is not to do a full restoration, but rather a preservation where we keep the beautiful patina and those bumps and bruises and the marks of its life that it's acquired over the last 60 plus years. However, there's a few major roadblocks that could get in our way to actually accomplishing that. One of those things is the engine. While most of the mechanical parts appear to be here, having sat for so long, we don't even know if it turns over. We have tried the fan thing, but it's very, very see. So I'm going to get under there with a big bar, try and attach it to the crank pulley down there and see if we can get this thing to rotate. Might have to cut the accessory belt off, maybe take the spark plugs off, just so we're not fighting any compression or resistance. So let's go give that a shot. So Lenny, being as old as he is, he has a hand crank. So it does have a starter and a button to start it, but should the battery die, there is a hand crank here. And I have tried moving this on the starter cog. Can't get that to go. So we're gonna put a big old wrench on it instead. Oh my God, there's so many cobwebs down here. Gross. So the cog, the nut on it, I guess is 42 mils, but the closest thing I have is this giant 1 11/16, which is going to be close enough. I actually don't know if I can get this on from underneath here. It might be too long, but oh, come on. Oh, it's so awkward. Okay. There we go. Oh, but it's hitting the ground. Okay, we're on. Oh my gosh. I should really be doing this from the top. I was trying to avoid taking the radiator and support out. And it's really awkward leverage down here. Okay, new plan. Let's take that rat out. So I can get this thing on, actually, without taking that off, but I don't know if I can get the leverage out of this. Oh. Wowza. We're going to cut that belt off, take the plugs out, see if that helps. Oh, okay. That didn't spin before. There's a plug there, but also here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wonder if someone just put that in there to plug the hole. Weird. Yeah. Of course, it's when Jack's away for work that I'm doing all the stuff I need his brute force for. Okay. Okay, come on. Now, I spent the next, what felt like forever, just moving this breaker bar on and off the socket, trying to make this spark plug budge. And I found a better method, and a little while later you'll see. See who's supervising down there? I gotta vacuum that debris out of there before it falls into the engine. Should have done that first. Let me just gingerly put that back in there. Okay. Vacuuming the dust. Okay, rest the spark plugs now. I don't know about you, but that looks a little bit rusty inside that spark plug. Oof. What am I doing? At this point, I gave up on that third spark plug and moved on to the last one, which came out shockingly easy. I didn't even have to use the breaker bar. It's another rusty one. Okay, so I can't get that third one out. Right now it's really stiff. So I'm going to put some deep creep around it and come back to it after that's had a chance to soak for a little while. But, oh man, guess we'll see how this goes. Okay, it's been a couple hours. That spark plug's been soaking in that deep creep. I am armed with fresh bangs and an overpriced iced coffee. Let's do this. This again took an extremely long time as to not break the spark plug or put too much stress on the tools. And my not so clever method of not having to take the breaker bar on and off the socket was to put the arm of our jack on a ratchet and slowly make my way through this. Holy. Let's see if we can finish this off just with the ratchet. Yes, we can. Okay, so there's the last one out there. It's all wet from the penetrating oil I used, but another unfortunately rusty looking top to that guy. I'm gonna try and turn this engine over one more time. I have my doubts based on how those spark plugs look. Let's give it another shot here and see, and if not, we'll do the old acetone and ATF trick in the cylinders and see if that gets us anywhere. No, she's not moving. Typically, you'd use a 50-50 mix of acetone and ATF down the cylinders, but turns out I don't have any acetone, so I'm just going to put down some ATF and go from there. The concept of putting ATF in cylinders that might be stuck is that it helps dissolve and soften some of the rust and corrosion that might be in there that are seizing those cylinders to the actual walls of the block. Having the acetone mixed in as well is supposed to help just really penetrate that even deeper, but I'm hoping that the ATF on its own will be enough. Now I'm just loosely putting the spark plugs back in just so that nothing else ends up falling in there while the ATF does its work. It's not really the result I was hoping for. However, considering how long this thing sat for, I'm really not surprised. So we're going to let that ATF sit for a while and come back and see if we can get any movement out of it. If not, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Might be engine rebuild. Thankfully, these things are fairly simple. We can pull it all apart, soak it, clean it up, and put it back together, and we'll go from there, I guess. While those cylinders are soaking, let's get into our next hurdle. While Lenny's body is aluminum, being a West Coast car and considering all the rain we get here in a year, the steel parts are really suffering. And unfortunately, that includes his frame. You can see here one of the outriggers that holds up the bulkhead in the front. Do you remember at the beginning of the video that weird passenger side rear lean? Well, this is what we're dealing with here, and while that 2x4 may be keeping him straight for now, that's not going to cut it long term. Everything that is steel underneath this car needs some serious help. So as you can see, this frame is a pretty major undertaking and probably one of the most important ones. I'm not really sure what our best move forward is going to be. You can get new galvanized frames for these things, but they're upwards of $4,000 and $5,000, and that doesn't include shipping. So I think we just need to weigh our options here. One of those options, of course, is considering whether this thing's even worth saving. Between the rusted frame and the seized engine, I don't know. But you know how some cars just seem to have some sort of soul and want to be saved? I think that's what this guy's telling me. Though after a couple days of that ATF sitting and trying to move this engine, oh, it's hard to keep going sometimes. Maybe we just need to take a leaf out of Lenny's book. He sat in the forest for over 20 years waiting to be saved. I guess we can be a little patient too. This is obviously going to be a big project, but we are so excited to take it on. I've always wanted an old Land Rover like this, and I think this one's going to teach us a lot. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've liked this video, please give us that thumbs up, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and we'll see you on the next one.